Who am I? Who are you? These two questions are single-handedly the most common asked in our lifetime. Whether it's a first date or a job interview, we're all faced with the responsibility of verbalizing our own existence. How is one supposed to explain his or her identity when he or she is still figuring it out? Well, I'll tell you how. Through self-discovery. My name is Teresa Prada, and even though I may not have all the answers, I'm going to let you in on the topic I am most knowledgeable about, myself. The concepts I would use to identify myself include sports, family, and my hobbies. I live by the phrase carpe diem, or in other words, seize the day. It is through these topics that I feel at most myself, and as though I'm living each day to the fullest. Sports is the ultimate teacher. It reveals the truth behind who we are and who we want to be. It is almost like a crystal ball to the soul. For me, sports have taught me what it feels like to be at my highest and my lowest, quite literally as a pole vaulter. The beautiful but tragic aspect of sports is that someone goes home a winner and the other a loser. And yet if one does not succeed the first time around, it does not account for the future attempts. I've had my chance at the game-winning play. I was successful with some and not so much with others. Playing competitive sports has built up my tolerance to criticism and accepting defeat, but just because I accept defeat does not mean I settle for it. My involvement with sports instilled an intense competitive work ethic. Hearing stories of Larry Bird and Bob Cousy and Steve Nash inspired me to be the best. I dedicated much of my adolescence to training to the sports that I was involved in. Water polo, basketball, volleyball, competitive cheer, gymnastics, soccer, track and field all helped shape me into the person I am. I can attribute my work ethic to my upbringing with sports. My involvement with sports taught me nothing great in life comes for free or easily. I always got the short end of the stick when it came to genetics. As a 5'5" female, I wasn't necessarily made to play volleyball. But alas, I trained every day to have the highest vertical on my team, being 24 inches. This earned me the spot as the starting middle against girls who were 5'10" and 6 foot. But beyond genetic disadvantages, I faced a lot of injuries as a result of overworking myself. I developed quadricep tendonitis in both my knees, shin splints, Achilles tendonitis, and overstretched tendons in my shoulders due to constant dislocations. This forced me to limit my involvement with sports and to prioritize the ones that mattered most to me. Although these injuries set me back, they taught me lessons of patience, self-control, and discipline. It was so easy for me to get caught up in the routine of things that these obstacles pose more of a mental challenge than a physical one. Sports taught me to accept defeat, but to not limit myself to it. It is easy to quit and walk away when we don't get the results that we expect, but it takes a true athlete to face a problem again until they finally get it right. My ability to work hard for anything I put my mind to is one of the most things I'm proud of. The other being my family. In psychology, the concept of nature versus nurture is one of the most commonly debated and theorized topics. How do people come to be? Are we a byproduct of our environment or our genetics since conception? I am blessed to have been born to my biological family with 6 other siblings, nothing like me. I'm proud to say that I'm one of 7 kids, and I'm the first to let guys know that 4 of them are brothers. My siblings, they're my support unit. No one will ever understand me or my life the way they do. They are my motivators, mentors, shrinks, and best friends. Even though the oldest, my sister Sarah, lives on the other side of the country, I know she's always only a phone call away from helping me sort out any obstacle I face. My brother Robert is my inspiration and my strength. He taught me to keep pushing through my troubles because I can get through anything. He has shown me that anything is possible if I put my mind to it and just a little bit of effort. My brother John taught me that compassion and gentleness are the most important things in one's life. Being 6'2" and 190 pounds of muscle, he is an oxymoron of the word. And yet he has shown me that no matter how I'm feeling, it is always best to rise above and do what is right. My brother Thomas, on the other hand, knows how to change things up in the family. He is the lovable rebel who always finds himself in bad situations. He has shown me the power of staying optimistic and blissful. He lives his life one adventure at a time, always doing what makes him happiest. He has shown me to make every day an adventure. My last brother, Matthew, has been my right-hand man throughout my entire childhood. He has taught me how to shoot a 3 and called me out whenever I'm being irrational or dumb. He has always been there to guide me to make the right decision. It is not always easiest for me to hear that I am wrong or being dumb, but Matthew never backs down when speaking from the logical side of things. He has an incredible ability to sympathize while also maintaining his stance. It's taught me to rationalize through my problems and rather than jumping in with my arms swinging. Even though I watched my siblings go off to college one by one, my little sister Gwen has been by my side through it all. As some of you may relate, the road to sisterhood isn't the easiest. From screaming to stealing each other's clothes to actual MMA fights, my relationship with Gwen is very stereotypical. Her and I both went to an all-girls school, and even though that concept of sisterhood was very much a kumbaya, let's all hold hands, that's not what real sisterhood looks like. Real sisterhood is knowing you'll never hate anyone more than them, but also knowing you'll never love anyone more than them. It's swearing you'll always protect each other, but never letting each other know it. Gwen has been my greatest test of patience and compassion. She has put all of my other tests, all of the other things my siblings has taught me to the test. And even though I am 19 and she's a 17-year-old monster, she has taught me so much in my life. She has great wisdom and the inability to give up on anybody who needs her help. My siblings are my wisdom, my strength, my inspiration. We're a bunch of mixed-matched kids all sorting through life together. They're the people I share my sorrows with, my joys, and my hobbies. I view hobbies as the little ways we experience joy in our life. Whether it's hiking, knitting, or underwater basket weaving, we all have our thing. My thing comes in the form of 2 things, archery and photography. If any of you are DC fans, you may know the superhero, the Green Arrow. No, I'm no superhero, nor do I try to be, but my love for them in comics has inspired me to take up archery. The first time I shot a bow, I was 8 years old, and it was my father's recurve. It was dark green with a black handle. I will never forget the feeling of splitting his carbon fiber arrow on my hand. I felt like there was glass in my fingers for like weeks. I got my first bow on my 14th birthday, and I quickly grew out of it and got my first compound. And after that, I saw a trend with birthday gifts in my dad because when on my 18th birthday, he got me a custom-made recurve. My bows hang proudly on my room as a symbol of who I am. I live by the quote by Paulo Coelho that an arrow can only be shot by pulling it back. So when life is putting you through something difficult, it means it's going to launch you into something great. I believe it can be easy for all of us to get so stuck in the mindset that we're never going to overcome what we're going through, but we must believe that we're going to get through the difficulties and they're going to make us stronger. My other hobby gives me the gift of capturing the beauty I see in the world. Even though my grandfather passed away when I was 7, I inherited his Canon Rebel XTI. He had a way of looking at the world with such a positive light that I took up photography to remember him and to find the beautiful moments and save them forever. It is easy to turn on the news and label the world as broken or burning, but I believe it's important to pay attention to the good that is happening. It takes a special type of eye to see a half-empty glass, imagine it full, and accept it for being half full. No one can walk a mile in another man's shoes, but I use photography as my way of showing people how I see the world. and making exquisite moments last. I'm just a teenage girl sorting through the world one day at a time, but what keeps me tied to my roots is my connection with sports, family, and hobbies. Sports introduced me to success and defeat, and hard work and discipline. My family has been my greatest inspiration, my strength, and my teacher. My hobbies have been my road to self-discovery. They help me find the beauty in the world. If I could only leave you guys with one thing to remember from my speech, let it be this quote by Eleanor Roosevelt. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty in their dreams. Never stop growing, learn from yourself every day, and that is the path to self-discovery.